I'm trying to properly, as a gentleman, ask you to be my girlfriend.
Are you joking?
No. Ella, who will you be my girlfriend?
Yes.
Is it safe to say that Ella has finally won and then she has Muna all to herself? Is it safe to stop all those who have been praying for Kayinsola and Muna to get back together and tell them, see guys, stop? Ella is now in charge. Is it safe to congratulate Ella and say, Ella, well done, your patience has finally paid off? On the other hand, guys, there is this argument about being someone's second wife. I think this is about to be probably Jite's reality.
Marry me.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Lucy's Quick One, talking just us girls. Now we are talking season 3 episode 4. Ladies and gentlemen, people have been praying and the prayers are very hard. These are how the prayers are going. Father Lord, oh God, any man or any situation that will make me fight for a man, oh Lord, erase it. Now on the other hand, we're having people saying, Father, the patience I need to take what belongs to me, to fight for what belongs to me, the violent take it by force. Father Lord, give it to me. That patience, may I have it? Now on the other hand, we have people praying and saying, Father Lord, anything that will make me be a second option to any man, I cancel and I bind and I cast. Now on the other hand, we have people still praying and saying, oh God, if my destiny is in the hands of a married man, Father, connect me to that married man. And I'm like, everybody calm down. But really, as a woman, can you really handle being a man's second wife? Guys, you're very welcome once again to my channel. In case it's your very first time joining me, of course you're welcome. Please do not forget to subscribe down there. And of course, I really love to have conversations, so let's talk about it as we go, because there is a lot to learn from you as well learn from me. So guys, we've moved from episode 1, episode 2, episode 3. Now we are in episode 4. If you are yet to see this drama series Just Us Girls, please go and see it so that you would understand where I am coming from and the lessons that are there for you to learn. Now this is talking about episode 4, and I like the fact that this for me is what I would like to call short and simple, not because the duration was short, but because the characters and the focus today is what I would like to describe as, a mixture of, first we have Jite and Kayinsola with a mixture of Muna and Lola. But for me, my analysis today will be from Muna all the way down to Jite. Not because Jite has a lesser problem, but Jite's one, we'll talk about it. Now, first of all, let's talk about Muna and Ella, talking about episode 4. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going here. They are in their shop. They are selling, and for all who know this or who do not know, Ella has been with Muna from season 1, and she has always liked Muna, but Muna will not always look at her side, like we say in Nigeria. He was not really attracted to this lady, but Kayinsola thing happened, and now Kayinsola is about to get married, so he has to move on. So they are in the shop, and then there's this customer that she was like, the way you guys are selling, she was talking to Muna and Ella, the way you guys are selling, it looks like, you guys are married, it's always beautiful to see couples doing business together. And Ella, Ella is already fair. Ella has already turned pink. She had turned purple, grey, orange. In fact, all the colors of the rainbow. She had turned that already in that shop. But Muna was like, he was very uncomfortable. He tried to evade the conversation and then he left. Then a call comes in. Somebody calls Muna, and then Ella has the mind to pick the call. And then they started to have the argument. At that point, Muna is like, I don't understand why you are being jealous about the fact that another woman is calling you, about the fact that I have a friend. And then she also was like, why are you even angry that I had to probe this woman that called you if you say that she's your friend? Apparently I'm your girlfriend. Mona was like, hey auntie, wait, how, since when did you become my girlfriend? Like, how did that happen? So she was like, okay, so what are we? You took me out to dinner, so what is going on here? Mona was like, no, I do not like you like that. And she's like, are you still stuck up on Kayinsola? She is engaged to be married. Like, why can't you just see me that I am here for you? She's angry and she steps out. The next day they are back at the bakery, and then she's not talking to Mona. She's giving him tough time. She's like, you know what, I am not here to be a second option. I'm not here to be this or that. If you do not want me, that's fine. We will still be colleagues, we will still be partners. And then she moves away. Then we now move up to a place where Mona's sister comes to see Mona, comes to buy something, and then she sees Ella there and she's having a conversation with her, and she's like, what's going on, and if she sees that Ella is giving her cold shoulders, apparently she knew that there was a fight between Mona, her brother, and Ella. So she goes to meet Mona. She's like, why are you still loving Koyin? Koyin is gone. Focus on what you already have. You told me that love is a choice. Now you are still being stuck up on somebody who is already gone. Move to somebody who is apparently in love with you. And then at that point, even me, I was like, love, is love indeed just a choice? Like, do people choose to love? Like, I've seen people who have said, oh, I met my partner, it wasn't love at first sight, I just saw this person, I told myself that I want to love this person. And then there are other people who are always saying that, no, I saw this person and then she grew on me and then I started to love her. Is it really just a choice? Is it more about the choice and then the agreement to commit to that person? That's the question I would like you to answer. Now we move back to the drama series. So this fight is still going on. Then Mona's sister Chisom calls Ellen and tells her that, oh, somebody wants to order for something, come and meet this person at so place. And then when she goes there, she finds out that it was Mona who was the client. And at that point, Mona now says, will you be my girlfriend? So when I saw this, to be honest, if I want to be human, right, I was happy for Ella. I was happy that at last, finally she has this man. I was happy that, this girl has, she really stood. She didn't shake. Like, normally, any girl that hears the story will be like, why are you chasing somebody who doesn't want you? If a man says he does not want you, just move on and leave the man alone. But remember what I told you about, there is never a one-size-fits-all situation to anything. Like, sometimes you see something this way, other times you see something this way. So while I was kind of happy for Ella and saying that, finally, Mona is already looking at Ella, in another situation, or in my mind, deeply, I was like, I'm not sure if this thing will stand. I'm not sure if when Mona sets his eyes on Kayinsola, he will still have that choice to love Ella or get to love her. I'm not sure if Kayinsola runs in tomorrow crying to Mona, if he will still stand and say, Ella, be my girlfriend. I'm not sure that he's totally healed. But I've also heard people say these things like, sometimes you don't really have to move on from your past relationship. Get somebody new and then use the person to move on and then you guys go together. On the other hand, I've also heard people say that, you have to get healed first and then before you move on to somebody else. This sometimes just really confuses me. But in this situation, in as much as I'm happy that Ella has really tried and then finally it looks like her efforts are yielding fruits, I'm still scared for Ella, and I don't want to come back and say I told you so. But however, that's the situation with Ella and Mona. Now moving on to Kayinsola. At the beginning of episode 4, guys, Kayinsola, in case you do not know, from the beginning of this season, Kayinsola has not been going to church. In fact, all of them have not been going to church. Kayinsola, Ame, Jite, Ife, all of them, they are not going to church. Everybody just, have this disconnect from church. Then Kayinsola is like, she's at work, she's seeing somebody listening to the online service, and she's like, oh my God, I've missed church. She talks to Jite about it, gets dressed, and then Jite is also saying, I have also missed church, but I went to church and I was like, oh, I've really missed church. Kayinsola goes to get dressed. She wants to go to church. She invites Ame. Ame is like, I'm not going anywhere. Jite is like, I'm busy. She's like, okay, you know what? I'm not going. Jite was like, you know what? Salvation is per head. Like, you can't use somebody else's head or somebody else's opinion to judge yours. Like, your own relationship with God is different. And I like what Jite said about, serving God is in the heart. I think it's more than that. There still has to be community. There still has to be you going to church to serve God. So she was like saying, I'm not going again. And Jite was like, Auntie, be going to church. Kayinsola decides to go to church. She was driving and then she gets this call from Tomiwa, and I was like, why is Tomiwa calling this young lady? She gets over to the house and then she sees Shegs on the floor. Shegs is Tomiwa's friend, and she's asking Tomiwa what happened here, and Tomiwa is like, says he doesn't know. They take him to the hospital and then she finds out that Shegs overdosed on cocaine. So she's very angry and she's talking to Tomiwa like, I don't understand, like, how did this happen? Tomiwa is like, I don't know anything about it. No, I don't even know how it happened. It just happened. Then she starts to ask Tomiwa, I hope you are not also indulging in drugs, or I hope you don't abuse drugs. Like, what's happening here? Tomiwa was like, no, I don't do that. I was like, Kanye, I know that you will believe this guy. She goes away from that, fights with Tomiwa and goes back home to tell Jite. And you will trust Jite. Jite, sharp woman, sharp shooter. She was like, auntie, if Shegs is this guy's friend, there is nothing you will tell me. Tomiwa is also indulging in drug abuse. And at that point, I have never seen Kayinsola that angry. Kanye was so angry at Jite. She was like, why are you always looking down on my fiancé? Why are you always talking bad about him? Why are you always talking ill about him? Jite is like, I'm telling you the truth, you're getting angry. And then she storms off. To me, I feel like the reason Kayinsola was angry was because she knows deep down in her soul that Jite might just be right. Because there is no way Shegs and Tomiwa, who have been friends for years, will be moving together, and then Tomiwa will not indulge in drugs. Like, it's not just possible. But she's still trying to give this guy benefit of the doubt. But somehow in her mind, she knows that this man, this man is definitely doing something under the corners. So later on, Tomiwa still comes back to check on his friends, Shegs, and Kayinsola is giving all of them a very big attitude. She's telling Tomiwa, you have to cut your ties with this man. And then Tomiwa is like, even if I want to cut my ties from this guy, why would I cut my ties now that the man is down? Like, I thought you were a Christian, was playing all that card. And then Kanye was just there. And then he says, you know what, let's reconcile, let's go out for dinner. And I was like, oh, sweet man. This man takes Kayinsola to dinner. And then the waiter was pouring wine into the cup, and he almost beats that waiter. And then I was like, we're all tired of helping Kayinsola. We're all tired of praying for her. We're all tired. We're just like, whatever will be, will be. Let's be watching and see how this is going to turn out with this lady. Because at some point, even her phone had to remind her of how she was 1 year ago with Mona by sending her a picture of Mona and herself. And then she could remember how good those times were. Now she's battling with a man who has a lot of anger issues, who is into drugs, who is cheating on her consistently. And she's just like, I can't see anything. Now, talking about cheating, we're moving on to the next character. That's Lola, guys. I really pity people, and I'll tell you why. So Lola is calling Tomiwa during the time Shegs was in the hospital. Shegs was down, and then he picks the call and shouts at her, and he's like, don't call my phone ever again. Like, what's wrong with you? If I need you, I'll call you. Now, in that anger, guys, listen to me. In that anger, with that annoyance, Lola picks up her phone, goes to her normal space, her brand, Instagram Live, and then goes there to talk about how men are scum.
You're calling a guy, he's not picking your call, and you're still calling him. For what?
Now she says, guys, I have gist for you. I have a friend who she keeps on calling a man who doesn't want her. Like, how will you call a man more than twice and then the man is not picking your call and you're still calling him? She just keeps on talking and talking about, value yourself as a woman. And then you could see people saying, yes, I concur, I agree. And I was just too stunned to speak. I was too stunned because this is probably what is actually happening right now in the world. People preach against something, but in real life, that is their reality. And that was what was happening here. She was like, I really pity that my friend, it can never be me. No, I can never be caught doing this. And remember last week I talked about the characters Ebuka and Mercy. How Mercy is an ardent follower of Lola. And then she was watching this and she was like, yes, a man should be the one taking care of me. A man should do this. A man should do that. As a woman, I shouldn't be doing this. She was listening and watching while Lola was talking. And I really did pity Mercy, because if she's not careful, her marriage will be in ruins. I'll come back to Mercy. So after that, Lola is hearing a knock on her door. She goes to open the door and it's Andrea, her friend. Andrea falls on her, starts to cry. And in case you don't know, Andrea is an up and coming actor. And then Andrea is telling her the story of how she almost fell into the hands of ritualists because she's looking for money to do BBL. She wants to have a big bum and probably bigger boobs so that she can have roles, because apparently in the acting or entertainment industry that's what sells, but she doesn't have the money. So she decides to go out for the money since she had already asked Lola and Lola said she doesn't have the money. So Andrea is telling Lola all the stories, and then Lola is like, I'm really sorry this happened to you. Andrea is like, but you have Tomiwa now. Talk to Tomiwa to give you the money now, all of that. And I was looking at Andrea because I remember that Andrea at some point was telling Lola to stop going to Tomiwa because Tomiwa is getting married. Now that Andrea needs money, she's telling Lola to go to Tomiwa and ask for money. And it just it's human. People would always say things that favors them and their situation. There is always the good and the bad, the right and the wrong. But most times, because we are human beings, we tend to say things that would favor us. Like, for example, I'll give an instance. If right now an elderly person is passing by, and then your friend doesn't greet this elderly person, and then the elderly person calls your friend and chastises her or probably slaps her, you would fight that elderly person and say, what is wrong with you? Why would you do that? But if that elderly person is your mother, and then somebody else walks past and doesn't greet your mom, and your mom is chastising that person, you know what you would say? You would say, oh, that person lacks manners, that person was not trained well. That's how human beings are. So in the case of Andrea was telling Lola to go back to Tomiwa and be with Tomiwa and get money from him because she needs the money. Unlike earlier when she was like, if Kayinsola was your sister, what will you do? So at the end of the day, Lola is like, Tomiwa is not going to pick my call. Andrea calls Tomiwa and lies that they were robbed and all of that, and that they need money. So Tomiwa says he's going to give them the money. Ladies and gentlemen, going back to Mercy has this man she wants to get married to. His name is Daniel. Daniel comes out and then he's talking to Mercy, saying that she's spending so much on the wedding without thinking about other expenses that they have to pay. And then you can see Mercy dragging her man, saying, no, you have to take care of all the debts, you have to take care of everything. I'm just the woman, it's my wedding, I'm supposed to look pretty, you are the man, you're supposed to provide. I was like, you see what happens when you take everything you listen to or see on social media and apply it to your life. Bam. Sometimes you have to, I said it before, you have to take out the shaft from the seeds. You can't always take everything into your head. Now at the end of the day, we move from Lola's situation and Tomiwa's situation and Andrea's situation to end at Jite, who at some point was chastising Mercy, saying, Mercy, do not lose the good bird that you have at hand, because men are not outside. Coming from somebody who is also sleeping with another woman's man. Now Jite is in a shop and she's playing with her dispatch rider or distributor, and then Otunba comes in. Otunba is obviously jealous and he's talking to Jite, and Jite is like, guy, calm down, like, I'm here for you forever. And then he was like, that's even what I want you to be for me forever. And she's like, oh, what do you mean? I'm already here. He now asked Jite to marry him. At that point, guys, I was like, I really wonder what Jite's response is going to be. Honestly, I don't know whether she's going to say yes or no, because on one hand, she has really lost a lot. She has had a traumatic childhood, and then she falls in love with somebody who decides not to marry her at the end of the day before she finds this man. Probably should be her solace. Hence my prayers at the beginning where I was saying that people are saying, if my destiny helper is in the hand of a married man, may I meet that man. But how many of you can actually handle being a second wife? I mean, there are people who are already in polygamous homes. I would like to know how you've been able to handle it so far in the comment section. I really wanted to see what was going to happen to Ife, but unfortunately we didn't have anything about Ife in episode 4. Maybe in episode 5 we'll hear things about Ife and whether or not she gave in to K. I think we'll still find out. But till then, let me know what you think about all I have said so far in the comment section. I got you with more right here on this channel. Till next time, remember to enjoy every moment. Bye.